Hey guys, it is Saturday morning, and I am pretty worn out, to be honest with you. I have been busting my butt nonstop on the Space Hulk project. I was really trying to get it out before my friend Tim went home. He lives in Arizona. He was up here in Utah visiting family, and I was really trying to get it out this week before he left. But unfortunately, just ran into a lot of issues with this set. I swear, the Space Hulk set is like surrounded by gremlins or something. But let's go ahead and take a look at where I am with it. First off, you will see I actually have some Space Hulk things. Tim gave these to me. It was really nice of him to give me these. I'll actually be able to get some games in on them. But let's go ahead and take a look. Now this is, I'd say I was about 70% done in terms of painting. So let's go ahead and take a look here at all the doorways. As you can see, there's a lot of rust effects. So what I've done first is, I originally tried to airbrush this whole set. And for some reason, my airbrush is acting up, and I'm going to have to take a look at it and figure out what's going on with that. But I decided to go with a gray primer instead to just take care of that. Because the gray primer actually added a very nice solid base to the whole set for color. Then what I did is that quick tip the other day where I did the black dunk wash and to get the all the crevices very deeply shaded. Then when I was dry brushing the silver metal over top of it, some areas it is showing through a little bit more, some areas not so much. I'm just going to kind of pan through here. And this set is actually looking pretty cool. I am going to be toning down the rust a little bit. This initial rust is just the beginning layer. What we're going to be doing is I'm going to be doing some gradual dry brushing to kind of darken areas. We're going to go for an effect like in the video game where certain corners are darker than others. So we'll just be steadily darkening areas, which, you know, that's going to take a little bit of time to get done. And then we're going to also spot wash in areas to get the rust varied. You know, some areas heavier, some areas not so much. But I think it's turning out pretty nicely. I'm also going to, these are the consoles. So this was the original test piece. This is what I based the entire paint scheme on. I just went to town on this little sucker and redid some things, and I'm actually going to have to update, you know, like this area right here is silver. I decided to go with the copper for the rest of it. It's actually not copper, it's called Old Penny. It's an Americana metallic paint. I'm not a big fan of metallic paints. I'm actually going to try and create my own metallic paints sometime in the future because the ones that I get in bulk just aren't that great. If you have any ideas about a metallic paint that is affordable like a craft paint, please link in the comments below or tell me where I might be able to go look it up. Right now I'm just thinking about mixing various craft colors with like a gloss medium and experiment with that to try and achieve various colors. Something like Liquitex gloss medium. But what I'm going to be doing for the colors of the consoles is a mixture of reds and greens. You see how I experimented a little bit. And then I've decided I am also, just because this set is so awesome looking now that the paint job's really starting to take form, I'm going to add some OSL effects. So this area around each of the consoles will have like little glows, you know, coming from the consoles. So depending on which console it is, that means that the consoles will have to be primarily one color. So this one would be green, this one would be red, that kind of thing. And then going over all the pieces like that. So, you know, you see consoles right there, and we're just going to kind of take a peek over here. You see consoles right there, that kind of thing. And just to give you an idea of how many pieces, I finally did a count. Just in tiles. That's just the actual like walkway tiles that come in various shapes and sizes. So as small as this to as big as that massive thing. Pardon my extremely messy floor. I am in the process of cleaning and all that jazz. It's that day of the week. But this one, you know, I mean, you look how big this is. This is part of the advanced set. But 123 tiles go into this. That's not including all of these, which are also looking pretty awesome. These are all the various little pieces that fit into the groove. So like we'll grab this guy here. and you just stick them right there. And then you have other ones, like you have this one here that you can just slide in right there. And these are used in the game for various tokens. So I think this is when a gate is destroyed. So like this is doorway, I think. I haven't played a lot of Space Hulk. I've played a little bit of the video game. Then you also have the circular ones, which you have these ones right here, and then you have like the fans. And we'll just kind of toss that right there to give you an idea. And yeah, I'm really loving how this set is coming together, and I'm looking forward to getting it finished. I don't believe I've actually showed off the sculpting I did for this either, so look at this. So these are part of the miscasts. Because of the fact that I had very limited supplies for this set, I didn't want to have to keep like recasting and recasting and recasting, because it's gotten to the point where I have figured out how I want to do this. If I do another set of this in the future, it's going to involve making complete masters, like basically like this, like a master, and then casting a mold from that, so that I can just cast these, one whole piece all in one go. So that way you don't have like this unevenness. Now I did fix this unevenness by building it up with green stuff creep, and that's going to get painted quite nicely as well. So I'm looking to have this this set finally done this week. Would have had it done by today, except airbrush issues, and then just running into like little problems just with the paint scheme, like trying to figure it out, and then it's just, this has been a set that has taught me a lot of lessons on how best to do it. For one, the laser cutting, that we didn't get the laser cutter before, and that's my alarm going off, telling me I should be getting up, but I'm already up, so I will turn that off. So I had cut all the bases with the jigsaw. This was before we started using the laser cutter. Yeah, you really actually need to laser cut this, because when I printed off and I even double checked to make sure, it was actually the file ended up being too big for the actual casts. I'm not sure how that happened, but it's basically, there's a file that has all of the sizings that you need the different board pieces for on Bruce Hurst's website, and it came out wrong for some reason. I don't know if it was the printer, I don't know if it was the file, but I remember double checking it multiple times against pieces to make sure it was right. And we ended up with all of these were like at least 1/4 of an inch bigger in proportion than they needed to be. So I had to go through, and you can kind of tell here, I've sanded it down, but I've had to go through and use a Dremel. I think I did that most of last week, was just dremeling off edges and getting it smoothed out to where it's more presentable. But that was quite a arduous task. So that would be the first thing I would change about doing this in the future. You have to laser cut the bases. The good thing about that means that we can just actually build a master on serial board, which is what I've put these on, and then scan that into a computer, and then that way you have a perfect base that actually matches your master. Then once you've built your masters, you get mold making materials. That's something I'm going to be looking into. I'm probably going to be hitting up Terrainscapes YouTube for reviews. I did pick up some rubber latex by Woodland Scenics to try and experiment with some minor mold making at first. But yeah, that would be the second thing I would change. Is switch to doing the masters. And this is kind of a rant video at this point, because I've had very little sleep, and I just feel like talking about the Space Hulk set because it's very cool. So what I would probably do after the mold making is you would make multiple molds, because casting all of these, I'd say the one mistake, if I had to say there was one mistake I made with this entire set, I only had one of each mold. Yeah, you can comment about that below, but one of each mold, it took forever to get enough casts for this. You need at least 4 of each mold if you want to do this with any speed. And just going in and making the masters, especially for just what you're going to end up building anyway. I'm just going to use the 4 to make masters, and then that way I can get those molds built. And then that way, let's say and this is just me ballparking. Let's say you have 6 of this particular one. You end up making 6 molds, or making a multi-mold. Just I guess you could just make 6 molds of this particular one. And then that way, when you want to build a set, you just go through and pour it all at once. Now, something I am going to be looking into a little bit is the dental stone, and this stuff is really heavy once you combine it. I mean, I'll just kind of, give you an idea. So this is my, my game table. So you can hear it's got a pretty good solid base. So yeah, that is the sound. That's how heavy this thing is. I'd say this is a good little bit. What would I call that? I'd call that like at least maybe 1/4 of a pound. Yeah, 1/4 of a pound. I mean, but when you take into account how many pieces are in this set, that's a lot to lug around. I mean, I had them in, like right here you can see I've got this bin that's full of all the sculpted ones that I'm going to have to paint here at the end of the weekend. Because, frankly, I'm taking Sunday off, and I'm going to relax. I'm going to play some Skyrim, and then we're also going to be starting Black Crusade, which is going to be fun. But, yeah, I would like to try and experiment doing resin. If you've experimented with resin, if you can point me towards any links about casting resin, but in a open mold style, sort of like the Hearst Arts molds, please let me know. I'm going to be doing some research on that, but I wouldn't mind some advice if you have worked with resin before. So yeah, just kind of a little Space Hulk rant. That's really what this has been. But it's coming to an end. It's coming to a close. I think the project's going to look really awesome as soon as I can get in and finish all the details on Monday, and then get her all packed up and ready to ship out probably by Tuesday or Wednesday. And then the fun part will start with me getting all the mold making stuff together over the next month or two, because I want a set now for myself. I do, because I'm going to play Space Hulk. Anyway, thanks for watching this little Space Hulk rant, guys. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more awesome terrain content.